Hey all, this is Eucep and waffle time. Uh, it's been Auto Assembly 2012 and my mind is still reeling. So many thoughts, even days after. Uh, it's been an awesome weekend, meeting people, making new friends, getting plastic crack. Uh, I still haven't processed all the experiences I've had there, the memories, the full flunk, missing everyone, the whole package. uh, Still, I think it's time to do a retrospect on what's happened and, of course, the haul itself. I'll split this up into two parts. First part, just me waffling about what's happened, how I feel, all that stuff. And the second part for those who just want to see loot. Alright, let's start off with the traveling. Uh, this was the first time ever for me that I flew by plane, or at least by a liner. I've flown before in a two-man plane for a short while. That was hectic and dangerous, but this overall there was no issue really. The only thing, yeah, I'll be called a racist or whatever for it, but next to me was this guy, and on the flight to Birmingham, who couldn't have been more stereotypical, looking like a terrorist. I was like, why me? Why now? Why my first time? Like, panic was settling in, and afterward, when we landed, I felt like such a cunt. I felt like an asshole just for thinking all of that, going along with stereotypes and everything. I really, you know, I didn't talk to him. I don't know who he was, but just for the thoughts that I had, I'd like to apologize just for doing that. I feel stupid for it. Luckily, that was the only really bad part in terms of how things went, because packaging and everything went, or my bags, luggage, that went fine. Travel itself went smooth. There were no delays. Uh, just when I arrived at Birmingham, I knew I could walk and stuff, but it was 10 before 10, and I was like, hell no, that I'm going to walk through the dark in a city I don't know. Um, so I called a cab, was like £8, and personally, I think it's money well spent, even though it's bloody expensive for such a short trip. But hey, I thought my safety and not getting lost was much more important than that money. Um, I hadn't really set any money limits at what I wanted to spend there. I knew I had to put in a limitation, but uh, I just bought £230 in order to get through the weekend. I could get extra money if I needed to, but in the end, I ended up not needing any additional money. I just have some loose pounds now left, which I'll use next year when I return, because I have very much every intent to return. Pretty much the only thing which can hold me back is financial issues. And that's a case of I don't know what will happen, because I can't predict how things will be for me in a year time from now. Um, so yeah, I arrived, met with several people already when I arrived. Quite a few amazed people I noticed who didn't expect me to come. So yeah, that was nice. Yeah, I've met so many people. So let's keep it for a bit later. I didn't stay up too long because I was already very knackered from the trip itself. So yeah, I went to bed pretty early, despite it, yeah, being Friday. The next morning, got up early, way too early, to be honest, to get breakfast and everything. Get my badge. Uh, I took along the badge, but sadly it got ruined in the trip back. Uh, it's as if moisture got in between, so all the print, yeah, it's gone. Alas. Um. Anyway, Saturday was awesome. Um, I spent the early morning pretty much on the dealer room, getting a few things already which I wanted to. Actually, I got a majority of the stuff then and there, and on Sunday I only got one part, one item. So, at the very least, on Saturday I got my Sentinel Prime signed. Uh, I took him along just to get him signed. Let's see if I can put it up properly. Yeah, signed by Townsend Coleman. You know, some took along boxed ones, but I just wanted to get Sentinel Prime himself signed. So was pretty pleased there. I didn't really bother with getting anything signed of the others. Mainly my own fault, because if I knew who Paul Eiding actually was, being that he is part of the Blizzard voice actors. Oh yeah, hell yeah, that I would have taken along something else like collector's edition StarCraft 2 box. Yeah, I would have paid for an extra suitcase or something like that to take that along. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity, to be honest. Um, yeah, so I didn't really do anything much with panels and stuff. I pretty much spent the entire afternoon talking with people, especially with people like Pratt his wife, meeting with Johnny, Knowlesley, Dodie, and so many more. Uh, I could ramble them off, but there is actually no use in it. But really, I want to say out a main thank you, especially to Pratt, uh, and also Phil, because it's like those two really were there. I spent a lot of time with them, uh, and at least they made me feel comfortable. Synchronously and Dodie, they really welcomed me, and yeah, I'm socially awkward. I know that well enough, and I really had to climb mountains there in order to fit in or at least get along. And I think I succeeded, as I put it up on Facebook as well. There were many hurdles for me and big steps, and I'm strode forward. So yeah, the evening, the cosplay and the script reading, all awesome. But as probably others have noted, the sound was awful. Just having two speakers at the rear was not a good solution. But as far as I understand it, it was not to be blamed on those organizing it. That was just equipment not being there in the proper place and such things, and not getting time enough to fill around with it. Um, so that's just a case of let's hope it's better next year. At least with the script reading, I did at least managed to follow most of the story quite well, and I quite enjoyed it. Afterwards, we had karaoke and disco, which I thought was awesome. Especially karaoke. At the beginning, you really noticed uh, it was quite empty, but that was most like too much is done one after the other. So people just left to get a break, and perhaps that's one thing that they really should fit in is a couple of times of a break. People need that. Uh, some really want to go on and on and on and on, but a majority just can't handle that, including myself. So even I went to get a drink, have a breather, and then return to for the karaoke. Still, at first it was quiet, but as more people joined in, people got more enthusiastic, and it was like, yeah, it's nice that there is a DJ. One of the guest artists actually went and did a disco thing. But I think many people would have probably preferred just to get on with the karaoke so everyone could get a chance because uh, I signed up. I wanted to do Dare to Be Stupid by Weird Al Jankovic, uh, but I wasn't called up. And after the disco, I went and checked. They just skipped on me, which was quite annoying. And I signed up again, but by the time I would have been singing, it was way past closing time, which just sucked. Oh well. Uh, I'm noticing some issues, glitches while recording. If that's in the video, I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. Perhaps movement? No, it's not movement of the camera. Oh well. If there are weird glitches, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. Went to bed, once again, quite knackered. Also drunk. This weekend has been one of the first times ever that I've really drank beer again. Uh, I've been pretty much sober from beer for over 8 years. So, yeah, this record is kind of shattered, but it doesn't matter too much for me. I knew to hold back. I didn't get into my annoying phase, for which I was glad enough. Um, Sunday, yeah, then I really went to see the panels like of Townsend Coleman and Paul Hiding. Couldn't resist trying to pry for information on StarCraft 2 if he were returning. I was tempted to ask about Project Titan as well, but I think I might have gotten a microphone flown at my head for that question if I would have asked it. So, thought against it. Met quite a few people also on that day, more than before, because I got over a majority of my nerves, so that was nice. Introduce myself a bit more properly to some people, especially because some people I sat with on Saturday never said who I was, even though I didn't know them. So I took my time to at least identify myself on Sunday. Um, all in all, quite excellent. Those panels, quite amused myself. Only got one thing that day, and I was like, alright, done for now. There were things I skipped out on, but once again, that's for the whole video. Um, I've pretty much stayed all the way to the closing ceremony. And, even then already the realization it was going to end was settling in. It was weird, very, very weird feeling. Um, yeah, I've spent that day quite a lot more in the rooms. But in the evening, yeah, it was more like talking with Brad and the rest, and just generally trying to be social. And I hope I've been successful at being actually social. So we'll see or hear about how that went. Although I did the occasional recording of video, I'll see what I'll do with it, how much has worked out. In the evening, thanks to the raffle of Toifu, as I understood it, Chris McFeely came out with that board game from that old Transformers G1 board game, and I played along with it together with Dave, Chris himself, and Phil. And I don't think I've amused myself that much in a very, very long time. Um, uh, in the last few years, I've been way too pulled into myself, not going out, not spending time with friends, uh, just generally feeling miserable. And so much feelings came out then. I didn't show it, I know, but it was like a burden fell off my heart, and it's weird, but you know, so that game just lightened my mood so majorly. When I went to bed, I had to say goodbye already because I knew I wouldn't see a great majority of the people there the next morning because I had to get up early. So some sad farewells and then having to go to bed. In the morning, I met only one, which would be Dodie. Uh, we had some breakfast together, and after that, I had to go to the airport. Perhaps I went a bit too early, but I, as I said, it was my first time flying. I had no idea how early I had to check in and everything, so I was like rather safe than sorry. Uh, and luckily, I wasn't sorry. Um, uh, Trip home took way too long. I was at the airport at 8:15 or something, and I got home about 5:15 in the afternoon. Way too long a trip, and that's in part due to delays at the airport, but also them missing connections. So I could have been home earlier. Alright, I will say, due to time difference, subtract 1 hour for UK time, because I got added a time during the flight. Um, all in all, I got home. Uh, the entire trip it was like pretty much dry, occasional little bit of rain, but I was inside, so no issue. Except when I got off the bus about a kilometer from my home, having to walk the distance, it started to pour like, yeah, someone turned on the valve completely. I was a soaking mess when I returned home. Luckily, the majority of my stuff remained dry, just a few things which got rained over, like the tag that I mentioned earlier. Oh well. I got home safe, had a long talk with my parents, it, and then just to get a rest because I was bloody knackered. I just went to bed, slept, and that's it. Uh, Now a few days later, I'm still tired. That's not really the main problem. Yeah, the down feeling from missing everyone, yeah, that's settled in quite properly. Sadly, I also have some issues with my back once again, and that's pretty much why I'm recording this now. I pretty much expected to record this in the evening, but I'm home off work because I just can't work with my back like this. I'm feeling pretty much like shit right now, and that's in combination with just feeling that fluish like feeling which many seem to have. So, eh. Um, anyway, that is my experience for Auto Assembly. I would really want to go next year. Really, really do. I want to meet everyone again, say hi to everyone again, give man hugs once again. Just the overall package of everything that happened was just downright awesome. And it will be an important memory for me. Um, let's also take a moment to waffle about the hotel itself. Yeah, it was expensive for food and drinks, but you know, those are the prices I'd expect for a four-star hotel. I'm not really sure if my understanding of this is just wrong, but oh well. Breakfast at least was very good, very tasty, so I could live with that. Um, I had little to no issues with the people working there or with guests from other conventions. Perhaps I wasn't just not really paying attention that much. Actually, the only one I had any trouble with was because one of the girls at the bar, she was so hypered up because so many people were there that she talked English in a way too fast manner for me to understand it. It's like, and then she was angry with me not understanding her, acting as if I was some kind of retard. Yeah, I wasn't too pleased with that. But every other person there was delightfully helpful and acted with respect. So, uh, not too much bad about that. I will agree with some of the observations that, especially that bar in the lounge, being in the center, pretty much split up everyone. Uh, I think we just should try and claim the entire thing near the window next year. Just like, this is where we'll be, the majority, and only those, like, just claim it. So people are more together there. That might help with the situation. Even though I will say having to draw chairs from everywhere in order to make bigger groups, yeah, that's a pain as well. Uh, Perhaps another room is available there. Like, I heard there was some kind of other room reserved for us, but I've not seen anything about that. Oh. Um, no, the hotel itself was okay. Just didn't enjoy the beds that much. They were rather hard mattresses, so. Eh. Um, Still looking forward to returning there next year. Perhaps I think I'll go a day earlier, leave a day later, just so I can enjoy the hotel itself more, like swim and stuff. Because I really didn't get to do that. I just was there babbling with everyone. Um, I see it's already been over 20 minutes. I'm going to cut this short. It was awesome. And I thank you all very much, all the people I met. As I said, mentioning names. I'm very bad at names to start with. But you know, when I met you, and I'm very grateful to all the people I met. It's just awesome. I know to some, especially to people like Dave Wallace, I've acted a bit on the way too timid side. It's, you know, I've put my social skills to the limit there. There were some barriers I couldn't yet climb over, but perhaps next year it'll go easier. Anyway, this was Eucep. Thank you all for watching this part, the waffling, the remembrance. Next part will be my haul.